Oh gosh. All right. Can you hear me? Hold on. Let's see. Ah, Lord. Right here. Give me 1 second. Come on, man. Okay, thank you. Loud and clear. Okay, cool. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna add this on Instagram. I forgot to do it. Do I even have a picture that can go there? Let me just use. Let me use this one. Wait a minute. I can just take a picture. Give me 1 second. All right, okay, I'm back. Good. Okay. Okay. We're good. San Antonio over Memphis. Okay. Oh man. All right, guys. So hopefully we can get a few people in here. Unfortunately, the schedule, like the time in which I decide to go live, is always off. Did you guys actually get a notification, those that's in here, or was it just came across it? I don't know. We'll see though. We're gonna give it a minute. But yeah, how's everybody doing? Free J, Jeremy, Jacob, Sebastian, how y'all doing? Everybody doing okay? Yo, Chop, you okay? Oh man, definitely something I want to talk about. What up, clan? How you doing? I'm doing okay. I'm actually hey Angel. Angel disagrees with me on everything. There's actually quite a few topics that I wanted to go over. Honestly, I got the noti. Oh, okay, cool. Just no notification, just noticed. Oh, see, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. It's all over the place. Even if you turn notifications on, it gets weird. Yeah, I'm doing okay. You got the notice too? Okay. Hey, Clan, you should do a draft review on Case and Wallace from Kentucky. I feel like if the Spurs fall out of the 3, they might trade down and get him. Okay. That'd be one. We're actually gonna do. We're gonna go over Cam Whitmore on this live, which I haven't went over any draft prospects live before, so that should be interesting. You think Pop gonna retire this year? Nah. Based on everything that Pop has said, the type of language that he's used thus far, no, I don't think so. I mean, he's already said like things like Zach Collins is our guy going forward. I don't know, it's kind of a weird thing to say if you're not expecting to be the coach next year. Also, you know, as far as like Popovich and those around him, they've said he's had the most fun that he's ever had now that he has these young players. So yeah. And another thing that Pop said as well is like in another interview, he said that he feels obligated to be there for them. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's going anywhere right now. Should we get Nick Nurse? Jacob said no. Nick, what happened with, I'll be honest, over the last couple years, I have not watched Toronto Raptors, but Nick Nurse was considered like a genius just a few years ago. So what happened with that? I mean, he was considered a genius. I like Nick Nurse. Oh yeah, that's right. The Toronto Raptors fired coach Nick Nurse today. Yeah, they fired him. I was wondering like if he could be an assistant for us, but most people are saying that the Houston Rockets are gonna grab him because he had the claw. Well, yeah, but like he was calling those games really nice in the finals. And Kawhi was good in the finals, but he slipped up quite a few times. yeah, Danny Green. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever seen you, Mimiko Takashi. Or maybe I have. Maybe you changed your profile picture? Is your profile picture different? Oh, why is the music so low? So I can't hear it on my end. Oh, man. All right, let's see here. What do I want to get into first? Should we do Cam Whitmore first? I kind of do want to get it out of the way. What? How do I feel about Usar? I already did a video on Usar. I actually like, and this is a hot take, I actually like him more than his brother. But I understand that his brother has higher upside, but I don't know. I'm a sucker for defense, and Usar's defense is way above what his brother does. I feel like Amon, he's a little lazy on defense. Even though he has everything in his toolbox to be a really good defender, he just seems lazy. Hi from Poland. It's night here, but it's good to see you, clan. Hey Nancy. Let's see. Cam Whitmore, a dog. He really is. Okay, we're gonna start with Cam Whitmore. Hey Mars. Okay, all right. Okay, everybody be quiet. Okay, you listening? Cam Whitmore. Cam Whitmore. All right, so I have not done this before. Like, I have not went live and actually went over a prospect. So if there's anything that the chat wants to add in, you can. I know a lot of us don't necessarily watch college or keep up with any of the draft picks. So I'm trying to catch up and trying to figure out who's the right guy, who's the good guys, who should you think about grabbing. Now, let me go ahead and jump into this right now. Okay, so Cam Whitmore, I'm very confused when it comes to him. Like, very confused, because Cam Whitmore, as it stands right now, like when I see most of the mock drafts, they have him like 7 or 8, and I don't get that at all. Like, if it were me, I would have him maybe in the top 4, to be honest with you. He might even be in my top 3. Actually, he is in my top 3. I mean, I would go with Vic, Scoot, and then I would go with Cam Whitmore. And then after that, Amen Thompson. And I know some people probably disagree with that, but yeah, like I would go with something like that. And Amen only because of his upside. But he is getting a lot of disrespect when it comes to these lottery projections. I don't understand it at all. So let me just go ahead and break it down like this. Okay, obviously with me being a Spurs fan, I'm just going to throw this out there. He is like what Spurs fans think Keldon Johnson is. And I know that's like really mean to put it that way, but oh my god, someone said that in the chat. He's very similar to Keldon, yet plays bully ball. Yeah, he's what people think Keldon Johnson is. He's like Keldon Johnson, but better. Like, he's more athletic. I think he's faster. I think he has more control than Keldon Johnson. Don't get me wrong, he does have some problems when it comes to playmaking. He makes some pretty bad decisions at times, but I think that comes more so down to the fact that he's the only like real go-to guy for Villanova. But yeah, so let's look into the stats first, and then I'll give you some more of my thoughts on it. So statistic wise, let's see. Overall, 12.5 points per game, 5.3 rebounds. He's a really good rebounder, by the way. 6'7" forward, 0.7 assists, 47.8 field goal percentage. One thing that's really cool about him, and this is why I kind of draw that Keldon Johnson comparison as well.
As an athlete and as a coach, I work out every single day.
Yeah, we're not doing that. But one thing that stands out is the fact that his catch and shoot, I think it's like 40%, so it's not bad whatsoever. He also has a really nice step back from 3, but overall statistically, he's pretty solid. You can see here every now and then he'll have a game where he can get a block or 2, but overall defense is not necessarily his strong suit. He can pry the ball loose. He can get steals in the lanes and stuff like that. But as far as on-ball defense and specifically off-ball defense, he's kind of all over the place, to be honest with you. Can't really fight around screens that well. Needs to grow his basketball IQ defensively. I guess I'm not even talking about the stats anymore. But overall, like he is a really solid player. And one thing that makes him so dangerous is like how you guys brought up how he has that bully ball mentality. Well, it makes his 3-point shooting that much deadlier. Because a lot of guys, they're just expecting him to drive, but he can hit you with that 3. Now, as far as any weaknesses, or another weakness that I notice is that his mid-range game is not that great. Also, when it comes to like getting in the lanes and finishing, he can finish his butt off, but he doesn't have really much of a floater, doesn't have a runner. It's a little ugly in that regard. But like I said, he's a really tough player. He's a pretty quick player, really athletic. I don't understand why he's not higher, to be honest with you. I mean, I've seen lists that had Jarris Walker over him, and I don't get that at all. But anyways, let's see here. So I haven't seen this at all. So these are pros and cons. Let's see what they have to say. Solid scorer off the dribble, yes. Decent shooter, yes. Excels at scoring on off-ball motion plays, yes. Adequate playmaker. I don't think he's that good of a playmaker. And I don't even know if I would put adequate here. But usually with this site, when they say adequate, that means it's not that great. So I don't know. I wouldn't say adequate. Good rebounder for his size, yes, definitely. Great rebounder for his size, I would say 6'7". Yeah, it's a good rebounder. Decent defender that can get steals and blocks. I think that's fine description there. Very good athlete. Yes. Streaky shooter. I don't know if you can consider him a very streaky shooter, would you? I don't know if I would call him a streaky shooter. I mean, he has a few bad games in here, but pretty consistent. I don't know about that one. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that. If he's a streaky shooter, just about anybody's a streaky shooter, but that's just me. Needs to improve his free throw shooting. Oh, that's something I didn't notice. Let's see. Free throw shooting. What? 70%? I guess. Yeah, sure. Especially with his ability to get to the rim. Yeah, you want to shoot better than 70%. May not be a natural playmaker. Well, yeah, but you said adequate play. I wouldn't even say he's adequate. Can tend to over dribble, which can lead to turnovers. See, that's another thing. I was wondering about that because I don't know. It seems like he's kind of the only option, and maybe if he's in a system that's not necessarily that, he could be a little bit better. I'm not 100% sure. I will say this as well, because I did want to look at his turnover ratio or his turnovers per game. It's not that terrible, especially with how often the ball is in his hands. But I will say this, that another reason why I would put him like in my top 3, which I don't really understand why a lot of people don't have him in top 3, top 4, is because I look at like the Thompson twins, and while Amen Thompson is really good, don't get me wrong, like super high upside and everything, he's also playing in an elite league, which that's going to be a gamble in and of itself because those guys are 16 to 19, if I'm not mistaken. And you don't have that fear here with Cam Whitmore. So I don't know. I'm just bringing that up. Let's see. Can tend to over dribble, can be undisciplined defensively. Yes, I agree with that. Cam Whitmore is a very athletic skills swingman that has a variety of skills that could prove to be useful in the league. He excels at attacking the hoop to score and gets assists, and he also is a good rebounder and defender. He will need to be more consistent performer in games, but he is solid all-around player that could end up being a lottery. He will be a lottery pick. And this is back in March. Is there anything else that you guys want to bring up here? Let me see if I see anything else in the chat. What's Cam Main's position? if I'm not mistaken, he can he's pretty versatile. So I've saw quite a few articles saying that he could run power forward if he's in the league. But I think he's going to be closer to what Keldon Johnson is. Naturally small forward, but you can move him to power forward. I don't think you can mess around and try to move him to center, but you can do small ball lineups with him. Yeah, that's the main thing. I'm just going through the chat, and it seems like most of it's just saying, yeah, he's very similar to Keldon. Yeah, that's what I saw. I think he's Keldon, but much better. So those are my thoughts on him. I absolutely love him. So yeah, I really like Cam Whitmore. Top 5 is almost 67. What are you guys talking about? If the Spurs drop under 5, then at least Houston. Oh, yeah. How it's set up, yeah. Gosh, dude, I'm so nervous. I think it's May 16th, right? May 16th is when we get to know, like, where we're gonna land. Oh my God, dude, I'm gonna absolutely lose it if we get Wemby. You know how good that's gonna be for the Spurs? People gonna go crazy. 6th pick is 26 and 7th is 7%. So fears about 7th pick aren't so bad because at least it kind of uncommon. Have the chance of getting first. I still think we land number 2 and get Scoot Henderson. No, Bronny's not in this year's draft. He'll be in next year's draft. People say he should be a lottery pick, but I'm not 110% sure of that. How excited are you for the Raptors pick with Nurse out as head coach? The Bulls and DeRozan miss playoffs, the Hornets potential to be good, and Hawks imploding. I'm really excited about the Hawks imploding. Wait, any updates on stickers for merch? No, not yet. Give me a minute. I literally have to get a new printer for that. For the stickers, that is. So you gotta give me a minute. Sorry. Every season's 7th worst record has gone up. Last 2 seasons, 2nd pick got number 1. I don't think either of those trends are super likely to continue. Oh, really? Last 2 seasons, the 2nd pick got number 1? I didn't know that. I don't think we get in Wemby. I really, really want him on the Spurs, but I don't think it happens. I do think we get Scoot, though, and I'm happy with Scoot if we land him. We have no idea, guys. Like, we have no idea. I mean, we're just going to have to go live, go over it, watch it together. We have no idea. Let's just put it out there in the universe that we get them. I mean, that's all we can do. Like, because we have no idea. Why does it seem like there's so many articles of Spurs not liking the people in the draft? I don't know. Yeah, it's like a lot of articles saying that the Spurs don't want Brandon Miller, which I guess I understand that. He will be my 4th pick. Wait, I said Amen, my 4th. No, he would be my 5th. Amen would be my 4th. I don't know. I don't understand it either. It is strange. I call BS on it. Maybe Brandon Miller, but it's like, that's a safe assumption. I mean, the Spurs want a certain type of guy. Brandon Miller's out of Alabama. Like, it's not that bold to make that statement, right? Like, the Spurs don't want him. No way. There's no way they grab him. Like, that's not that bold of a statement. I mean, he's out of Alabama. We just had issues with Primo. He's involved in an incident that's awful. And me personally, I don't think it's, from the details, it's not necessarily his fault or anything. So I don't think it's a hindrance on his character or anything like that. But no, like, it makes sense, right? Like, we could easily make that assumption. I don't think it's that mind blowing that, oh, the Spurs might not take Brandon Miller. I don't know why. I don't know why that's a thing. if we get number 3, I don't mind taking Miller, but with them probably trade Keldon. I don't know if you trade Keldon after getting Brandon Miller. I don't know. I will be honest in saying if we got Kim Whitmore, getting rid of Keldon, it just makes sense. I don't really see a point at that point. I mean, but Keldon Johnson's contract isn't that bad, so you could keep him. But if you got Cam Whitmore, I feel like Keldon comes off the bench. You know what I'm saying? Taylor Hendricks. That's I don't know who that. I gotta look into. I'm sorry. Let's see. Should I get into my hot take? People are upset with me on Twitter. People a little upset. People a little heated with me on Twitter. Do you think it's a better idea to bank on your future like Amin Thompson or take a ready now type of player? I think it depends on where we're at. Like I don't know. I feel like if we're second or we got the 2nd overall pick, I wouldn't take my chance. I would get Scoot. I think his upside is stupid high anyway. I would just go with Scoot. If you're at the 3rd position, I'm really high on Cam Whitmore right now. I mean, there's no one really taking that spot right now. So Cam Whitmore for me. But I do feel like if you're at 4, 5, there. I mean, what are you going to do at that point? Oh, you want a guy that's more ready right now. But like floor might be pretty high, but ceiling isn't as high as you would want it to be. Like, do you go after Jarris Walker because he's a little bit more ready? For the NBA defensively? I don't think so. I think at that point you go for like straight potential, but that's the thing. Like the top 4, top 5 picks, all stupid high potential. The only thing that scares me about Amin and the Thompson twins in general is the shooting is terrible. The turnovers are terrible. And I would excuse it if it weren't for the fact that they're in the elite league and these are like 16, these are teenagers. That's the only thing that makes me worried. Other than that, I mean, just eye test, skill wise, he's ridiculous. But that is something to at least consider, I think, if you're the Spurs. You know what I mean? We need a 5 or a 1. Don't eat wings. Funny enough, if we were to get Wemby, the Spurs have said that they don't mind. Well, it's been reported that they would potentially move Jeremy Sohan to the 1, which they've experimented with that all season long anyway. Could Josh Primo come back to the league? I have no idea. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think Josh Primo comes back to the league. Okay, this isn't that great of a segue, but I do see someone in the chat says, what's your hot take? Okay, so this is what upset, a few people, right? Got a little upset with me, a little angry with me. So basically what I said, and you can read it here. I'm sorry, but if you no longer support the Spurs, if they move to Austin, I don't think you're a Spurs fan. Not going to happen, but still. So I stand by this, okay? I stand by this. All right, so first and foremost, maybe I should have worded it a little better. I don't think you're a true Spurs fan. Does that make it better? It doesn't, does it? It just makes you more angry. Okay, so these are my thoughts on this, okay? Now, I do understand where people are coming from because they're so afraid of the San Antonio Spurs moving. They're like, no, they have to stay in San Antonio. They can't go to Austin. The culture is here. I get it. I understand. You grew up with the team. You're around the team. People are trying to throw at me like, oh, you're from another state, so you don't get it. It's like, okay, I get it. Whatever. I understand. All right. Because here's the thing. I see it this way. All right. So if I put it in my perspective, I also like, I don't know if you guys knew this, but I also like the Memphis Grizzlies, right? Like I genuinely like the Memphis Grizzlies. Like I'm a fan of the Memphis Grizzlies. They're my second team, basically. But the only reason they're my second team is because they're in Memphis. I feel like if the Grizzlies were anywhere else, I wouldn't be like a fan of theirs, okay? I just wouldn't be a diehard fan of theirs. But I'm a fan of theirs because they're in Memphis. If they were to move to a different state or something like that, then okay, I probably wouldn't care anymore, okay? So I get it, I understand it. But at the end of the day, I'm not a Grizzlies fan. Like I'm not a diehard Grizzlies fan, okay? Like my love for them is very conditional. And I feel like when people start to say if my Spurs were to move, that I would no longer support them and I wouldn't be a fan of theirs anymore. It's okay to be upset, but like when you start saying that, it just feels like it's kind of conditional. Like, and I guess every love for a team or fandom or whatnot can be conditional to some extent, but a geographic location changes whether or not you like the team. Because me with Memphis, I can acknowledge that I'm not a diehard Memphis fan. That's why I can just be like, yeah, if they leave, whatever, you know? But like, for instance, I have a cousin who's a huge Memphis Grizzlies fan who lives in Memphis. And if they were to move, he'll still be a Grizzlies fan. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's different. It's just a different thing. So when I saw some people try to bring up like, no, Clan, that don't make sense. What about Thunder when they went from Seattle to OKC? Are we talking about like multiple states over? First and foremost, there's a lot of Seattle fans that are still OKC fans. Like there's still a group of them that still loves the Thunder, even though they moved from their state or whatnot. Like, so that's still a thing. But number two, that is not equivalent to the Spurs moving from San Antonio to Austin. That is not the same at all. We're talking like an hour and 40 minutes? You serious? My cat's food just dispensed and it was really loud. I don't know if you can hear that, but like, I don't think that's equivalent at all. That's like completely different. 3 hours? I don't even think it's 3 hours. Hold on. San Antonio to Austin, Texas. And it's rush hour right now. Wait a minute. San Antonio, Texas. Good God. That's at 20 minutes. I was like, oh, I'm about to be really angry. It's an hour and 32 minutes. What are we talking about? Why is this such a big deal? I don't get it. I don't understand that. So like, look, I understand being upset if they were to move. It's about 45 minutes. Oh, well, right here it says hour and 15. Well, it doesn't matter. Okay, it's literally in the same state, and it's just a small distance. Okay, you just got to drive a little distance. If I love a team, dude, I've traveled all the way to San Antonio a few times because I love the Spurs. Right? That's a long drive from where I'm at. Okay, I would die if I could go see the Spurs and they were just like a couple hours away. Are you serious? That's why I don't understand. Like, where people getting so upset, like, oh, this is a terrible take. No, it's not. No, it's a very reasonable take. I don't think that if you're only a Spurs fan because they're in San Antonio, I just think that your fandom is super conditional. Like, it's really conditional. And mine isn't. You understand? It just isn't. You can be upset if they moved. I get that. But like, to say I will not support this team and I am no longer a fan of theirs, and look, no one personally betrayed you. If the San Antonio Spurs were to move from San Antonio to another city, they didn't personally betray you. Okay, the thing is, it's all about business. But at the end of the day, I want the San Antonio Spurs to be as successful as humanly possible so we can win multiple championships in the future. Okay, the NBA is changing. You're gonna have to get some free agents here and there. You're gonna have to sell something to players to come play for you. And unfortunately, right now, as it stands, the Spurs don't have that main selling point that we used to have. When we had Tim Duncan, it was winning, right? When we had Tim Duncan, Manu, Tony. But when we had that winning streak and constantly getting close to the finals and constantly competing, you can at least say, hey, we're winners. You know what I mean? Right now we have, we can help with development. That's great. for like rookies and really young players. And I know that we can rejuvenate careers and whatnot, but that it doesn't really, it's not a huge selling point for anybody. And if that were, I'm not saying this would have to be the case, okay? I think San Antonio is fine right now. I think it's fine just to dabble into Austin, dabble into Mexico City, dabble into overseas, whatever they're deciding to do. Like, I think all that's fine, all that's great. That helps a lot. But at the same time, I think that when you get to the point where you want players to come over to San Antonio, or you want players to have a selling point of where they're going to be at, a lot of guys would probably prefer Austin. So if it were to get to that point, I'm fine with it, only because, hey, we're going to have quite a few people wanting to go to San Antonio, or wanting to go to the Spurs, right? Like, it helps us. It helps us as fans. I just want to win more. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. I think it's silly. Hold on, let me read this. Everyone got to stop. San Antonio Spurs aren't leaving San Antonio for Austin. It's not happening. If they did go to Austin, I would still be a fan, but I don't see it happening. Thank you, Angel. Angel, what the heck? Angel, how come like every time I post something you disagree, but then when I go live, it's like we're like this? I don't get that. Sebastian says it's just a lot of city bragging rights. Austin people would be cocky over it. San Antonio Spurs fans are cocky over it. I mean, dude, the amount of people that are upset. Look at this. Trash take. Yeah, I don't care about that. Hold on. Easy to say for someone that doesn't live in San Antonio. They're more emotional ties than just a fan in Memphis. I like your content. Thank you for that. But stay in your lane, sir. Stay in my lane. You see how silly this is? This isn't cocky. This is extremely cocky. This is ridiculous. This is so silly. This is so silly. This is so silly. I know that there's emotional ties. I know you grew up in San Antonio, but I'm sorry, dude. If the Spurs were to move a couple hours away, oh, I'm sorry, not a couple hours away. If the Spurs were to move an hour and a half away and you no longer like the team, I think, I don't know. I don't think you're that much of a fan. I'll just be real with you. I just don't. I think you're super conditional. Like my love for Memphis. It's conditional. If Memphis Grizzlies were to leave, I can't sit here and tell you guys I'm a diehard Memphis Grizzlies fan. I'm not. If they were to move, I don't care that much. I'll just be like, oh, that sucks. I can't see the Grizzlies in town anymore. Well, all right. Not a fan of theirs no more. I won't be following them that much. That's what would happen. But that wouldn't be the case with the Spurs. 2 hours in traffic. Yeah, well, 2 hours in traffic, whatever. Who cares? Well, this right here, I think is equating for traffic. I think that's why it's orange, right? I think that's what that means. Pretty bad traffic right now. This will be a time that is pretty bad traffic. Dude, 3 hours. I think that's silly to get upset about. Not really. We got a clip of him admitting he's a Grizzly fan. Me? I am a Grizzly fan. I am. But at the same time, if they were to leave, it's conditional. I'm not a diehard Grizzly fan. Nah, bro, you just drive slow. I can get there under an hour. Dude, if it's a 2 hour trip and you get there under an hour, you probably shouldn't do that. If by any chance that happens, give San Antonio the Austin Spurs. Yeah. I actually thought that too. I thought that was funny. I haven't been able to get there in an hour since the 90s. There's a lot of people in Austin now, right? Growing population in Austin. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, look, it's not going to happen. Like, I know it's not going to happen, but I don't know. Some of the responses, man, it was like, what the heck are we talking about? Like, I don't care. Like this one, if you're an Austin Spurs fan, would you also be a Las Vegas Spurs fan? Myself, I'm a fan of my community, and the Spurs are a part of that. If they choose not to be, I wouldn't follow them anymore than I followed the Oilers to Tennessee. See, it just seems like it's like a comment, almost like they betrayed me, you know? It's like, well, they're not part of my community. I don't know. You're more in love with the community than anything. I don't know. Also, yes, if they went to Las Vegas, I would still be a Spurs fan. I don't know. I don't understand. Wait, doesn't the Longhorns play the same? I honestly don't know. You're probably right. We doing more draft takes. Check out Wemby's teammate. But oh, I seen some people talk about him. Yeah, but that's my take on it. I don't have much else to say about it. So yeah, just silly, man. Just silly. I mean, to say that this is a terrible take, and shout out to Jesse here, but like, you usually write 150% of the time, but you are wrong here. Rare L take. It's not an L take. It's a completely reasonable take. I don't think that you're a Spurs. I think that it's very conditional. It's very conditional. And for me, I don't have that. Like, it would take so much. Like, my Cowboys have screwed me over my entire life, okay? I never got to witness a championship. Are you serious? What, I was like 1, 2 years old? I don't know. Like, I've never seen a championship. And even though you have all of the capabilities of being a championship caliber team, they continuously screw me over. But I can't leave them alone. I just can't leave them alone. I can't get enough. It's not conditional for me. I mean, they would have to do something that's really out of bounds. It is not conditional for me. Like, they would have to do something that's like against my moral code, but leaving a city isn't. Yeah, I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm a diehard. And they piss me off every year, but I can't get enough. I rant, I get upset, and then I do it all over again the next year. And if they were to move from Dallas, I don't see my fandom changing at all. I'll probably stay a fan in general, but my interest level would drop off significantly. Well, if you live in San Antonio, Chop, I mean, it would drop because you can't go to the games, right? Okay. And if they won championship, it wouldn't be. I just feel like it's so silly to like make it like act like that's the same. Like, oh, OKC moving from C. That is not the same, dude. That is not the same. It's not even the same as the Charlotte, New Orleans Hornets, and the Charlotte thing or whatever. Wait, what happened there? Can someone explain that to me? Hold on. New Orleans. What were the New Orleans before? Were they anything? I feel really dumb right now. It was the New Orleans Hornets and the Charlotte Bobcats. Now it's the Charlotte Hornets. What happened there? Because they didn't move, did they? I don't know. I don't care. Okay. All right. It was something else to talk about. Did I just accidentally record something? Hold on. I didn't mean to. The heck was I? They continuously screw me over. Oh. Okay, that's weird. I accidentally recorded me talking about... Okay, that's weird. I don't know how that happened. Alright, guys, I got something else to talk about, okay? I got something else to talk about. Chat. Listen to me. Alright, so we've been talking about Steven Jackson quite a bit, unfortunately, because he just can't stop. I mean, it's just something about San Antonio that he just can't stop talking about them. It's getting out of hand. It's really sad. It makes me sad. But someone came through with a 2003 clip of what Steven Jackson had to say about the Spurs back then. And it's mind-blowing. It's absolutely mind-blowing. So before we look into this, I'm just bring this up every now and then during the live. Okay, if you guys want to support the channel, clanthemerchfan.com. I'm wearing it right here, man. This is Fresh Prince of San Antonio. It's on the website, but yeah, clanthemerchfan.com. So get merch and stuff. Thank you. All right, so let's go in and see what Steven Jackson had to say about the San Antonio Spurs back in 2003. So yeah, exposed.
Pop has helped me in more than just being a basketball player. He's
wait, we gotta rerun that because that was not turned up all the way. You guys gotta listen, okay?
Pop has helped me in more than just being a basketball player. He's definitely showed me how to approach games and how to be a professional off the court. And I think that was big for me because I think off the court, if I handle myself the way they want me to and as like a man, it's easy for me to approach games and be focused when it's time for me to come play on this court.
Then what's the problem? What's the problem? Wait, chat. Why are you biased on Steven Jackson? What do you mean? What do you mean biased on Steven Jackson? I have no idea what you mean there. What do you mean? I'm not biased on Steven Jackson. What? I don't like Steven Jackson because Steven Jackson continuously pokes the bear. Like I don't know what to say. Like, why are you biased towards the person that slaps you in the face every day? I don't know. Maybe they should stop doing it. Maybe I wouldn't talk about it if he wouldn't stop. Anyways, I just find that this really funny. I wasn't gonna like make this a long segment by any means or anything like that, but I do find this funny. The fact that he does love, or he used to love Popovich or love what they did for him, but now he just doesn't. I really thought about this after that last video, because in that video I kept saying like, I don't understand. I don't know what's going on with him. And you know, I saw a comment and I couldn't find it. I tried to go back and find it, but I saw a comment. I don't know if it was on Twitter or on my comments, but I just saw it in passing like last night. And I completely agree. I think what it just comes down to is the fact that he is so upset that the height of his career was him being a role player. And I think that that's what's playing on his head, right? Like that, with someone that has as much of an ego as he does, that's probably what it is. The fact that the biggest highlight of your entire career, you were a role player. And it seems like every single interview, every single podcast, he's trying to overcompensate for that when he talks about San Antonio. There's always these different factors that were playing a part. And I never really understood what could have came out of that. Like every single time Steven Jackson comes on or goes on a podcast and he starts talking about how like, oh, they didn't do this, they didn't help me with this, and they didn't give me these minutes, and I was better than Manu, and I was better than Tony. And it's like he says all these things, but it's like, what would have been the outcome? Would we have had a better outcome? And that's the thing that I question, right? It's like we had 5 championships since 1999. A lot of franchises can't say that. We had a dynasty. Most franchises can't say that. A lot of franchises can't even say they won a championship in the past 20 years, right? Like, this is a big deal. And the fact that the Spurs were able to be so successful for so long and win so many championships, his complaining just comes across as silly. Because I don't know what else what would we have won 6 or 7 or 8 if we had Steven Jackson? I don't think so. He was silly on other teams. I don't think so, dude. So it's very confusing to me. And every single time he comes out and he says these things and complains about the Spurs, and it just comes across as me, you know? It just comes across as me. I really do believe it was a brilliant comment. And I hate I couldn't find it, but like, I really do believe that. I think that it just comes down to the fact that he cannot accept. Oh, hey, Mikasa. Every time I talk about Steven Jackson, my cat comes up here. He just cannot accept the fact that he was not going to be able to outdo his highlight with San Antonio. He had to be a role player. And I don't think he likes that. And the funny thing about it is he had a lot of issues. Hold on, girl. He had a lot of issues the second time he came to San Antonio. And I think that that's where that drama came up, where Pop was like, you know, admit that you're better than, or Manu's better than you, which this is coming from Steven Jackson, so we don't know how true this is. He's not a very reliable narrator. But if that was true, I think that he was still holding on from stuff from 2003, because the funny thing about it is maybe in 2003 you were better than Tony Parker and Manu, okay? Very young, just kidding with the Spurs, whatever. And maybe you were a better player in 2003, okay? But that is not the case later on. Manu has definitely shown that he was a better player than you in his career, right? So like that, I think that that's kind of silly. So maybe he was still holding on to something from 2003. I mean, I don't think it's that much of a long shot to say that, because I don't know, it's 2023 and he's still holding on to something that happened 20 years ago. So it's not that crazy to believe that he will hold on to something for about like 8-9 years, right? I don't know. Steven Jackson would always drop off Tony in practice. Who cares? You know, it's like okay, but then we won multiple championships. You get what I'm saying? I just don't get it. That's where I get confused. Okay, what you don't understand, Clan, is Steven Jackson played better than Tony in practice. Oh, okay. So what could that resulted in? We played. Oh man, Clan, if we played Steven Jackson more, we would have got a championship. How many, man? We probably could have at least got 4. Word. Because we did. I don't know. I don't know. And I don't think I'm settling here either. Like, I watched these seasons. Championships are tough. They're hard. They're hard. And he's not a very, like, great locker room guy. So, like, I don't know. Bowen was also more important than Steven Jackson for guarding Kobe and LeBron. Oh, yeah, as far as defense. Let me see. Nobody takes notice of what he says. He's just an agenda against the Spurs because his ego is hurt. I think a lot of people listen to what he says, but yeah, they don't get like overly hype about it. This guy at the age of near 50 is still starting brawls and crowds at events. Man never grew up. He's a clown. He's still doing that? Hold on, Mikasa. We gotta look this up. Jackson brawls? I don't even know. Tells the story behind the infant. No, not the Malice in the Palace. Is this it? What the heck? Tucks his chain. What the heck? What is this?
What up? It's a big step of the well-known flex to the girlfriend. Yeah, you know.
Hey, hold on, man. These niggas gonna move. I'm good. Hey, sit down. These gonna move. They ain't sit here. They ain't gonna run nobody off the. Sit down. Sit down. We ain't moving.
No, what's up? I'm right here.
I know my wife though.
What's up?
I know this is my wife. Somebody gonna say, excuse me, something.
What's up?
I know you come help me. Me too. Yeah, shit. But stepping on my wife is not happening.
What happened? Someone stepped on his wife? I don't get what he's... Right, that's Steven Jackson right here. What? Is this after? I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It was at about... Oh, so it was this one? Okay. Let's see. Anything else happen? So he's just like yelling at people about his wife or something. I don't know. Yeah, he's silly. He's a very silly person. I don't get it. But yeah. I don't know. Alright, you gotta get down. You gotta sit down, okay? Sit down there. Imagine how bad Kawhi would have been doing Jackson in practice if the Spurs had actually kept him on the team. I wonder what he admitted that Kawhi was better than. I mean, it's just so silly to bring up practice, guys. I'm sorry. That's like really silly. Because yeah, sure, practice 1-on-1 or going against your teammates is complete. Is definitely the same as like team cohesion on the actual basketball court against other teams. That's completely, yeah. There's plenty of people that could beat Manu Ginobili 1-on-1, but Manu was a better basketball player. Just silly. Yeah, Steven Jackson, very silly man. But you guys brought up Kawhi. There was something about Kawhi that I wanted to bring up that I thought was kind of weird. Did you guys come across this take from Stephen A. Smith? It is just Oh man, when it comes to these like ESPN guys, when they say their takes, man, oftentimes it's just so, I don't know, it got to be so definite, it got to be so hyperbolic, it has to be so out there. This is kind of wild. This is a little wild. I mean, I understand it, but it's a little strange. No? Did you see this? He isn't wrong though. I don't know, man. This was a little weird. Let's listen to it. Hold on. This is about Kawhi Leonard.
I don't know how many people gonna say this, Big Perk, but I'm gonna say it. Kawhi Leonard should be on the list of one of the worst superstars this game has ever seen. That's right, I said it.
And it's like, okay, I'm trying to get that quote. He goes on to basically say that the reason being is because Kawhi Leonard is never healthy. And he says, well, it's not his skill. And they always do, or Stephen A always does this, where he'll say something like really out there, and then he'll try to say, no, but they are good. Like they're good. We're not talking about skill here. We're merely talking about this other thing. It's very strange to me. So with this take, Kawhi Leonard being on the list of one of the worst superstars this game has ever seen, that's not true. I mean, you can say one of the most unhealthy superstars this game may have ever seen, but you can't say he's one of the worst superstars this game has ever seen. I mean, because he has injury issues, he's one of the worst. I don't know, man. That's a huge leap. I mean, look, we don't care for Kawhi over here that much, right? I mean, please ignore the Kawhi figure I got there, but we don't care about Kawhi that much over here. But at the same time, it's like he has 2 championships. He has Defensive Player of the Year award. He has 2 final MVPs. Well, he's one of the worst? I mean, I don't know. It's like you can't just say that statement and then follow it up with, oh, because there's injuries. I mean, there's lots of players, a lot of superstars that have had injury issues, right? I don't know. He's not one of the worst superstars this game has ever seen. And he knew that would be the quote. He knew that would really go out there. And I hate this attitude that a lot of talking heads have, where they're like, you know, I'm going to say this. People aren't brave enough to say what I'm about to say, but check this out. And then they proceed to say something pretty dumb. I don't know. I think that's pretty extra. Let me see what the comments have to say. It's just that this quote alone, it's like you didn't have to say it that way. That's just wrong to me. I don't know. Didn't he pretty much single-handedly win Toronto a chip? I wouldn't say single-handedly, no, not at all. Kawhi is an ultimate competitor. There's no way he'd sit out if he wasn't hurt. Unfortunately, his knee situation is probably going to flare up the rest of his career. One of the best, most professional superstars this league has seen. Yeah, like this is true. Yeah. Let's see. Lost total respect for him 2 years when he didn't sit team. Wait, what? Lost total respect for him last 2 years when he didn't sit team give leadership. What? Stephen A takes are getting worse as the years pass. It's a very weird take. I'll say that. Oh, are we finally calling Kawhi street clothes? Where's Kwame Brown when you need him? Yeah, most people don't agree with this, it seems. Newsflash, I said this only about 5 years ago, preaching to the Spurs choir. Been there, done that. Do I like Don Harris? I don't remember. I don't remember if I like Don. I feel like I don't. Do I not like Don Harris? I feel like he retweeted me and said something crazy. I don't know. I don't think I like him. Because it's coming back. Good gosh. All right, let's see. Kawhi has chronic knee issues, plain and simple, and only gets worse as he ages. Here's another thing too, and you know, this might be kind of ridiculous on my point. Some people, my part, some people might call this ridiculous, but I feel like if the San Antonio Spurs had Kawhi, he wouldn't have this many issues. Like they were helping him pretty early on with all this stuff, and it just seems like he hasn't been the same since. He wasn't getting the exact same load management that Popovich was given before. Now he is, right? But I don't know. I feel like we could have handled it a little bit better than some of these other ones. Don here is the sportscaster in San Antonio. Yeah, I can't tell if I don't remember if I like him or not. There's quite a few Spurs people I don't like. I feel like I don't like him, but I don't remember why I wouldn't. So I don't know. Just wanted to bring up that topic with you guys. I just thought it was silly. A little weird. I don't know what's up with my cat. She's very lovable right now. Let's see. There was something else I wanted to show. Oh, guys, can we talk about something? Make us come on. There we go. Get out the way. What you doing? I don't know. I'm sorry about my cat. I don't know what she's doing. Mikasa, what you doing? Come on. Get from over there. I have no idea what's going on with her. All right. Okay, there's something I want to talk about, okay? Can we talk about Keldon Johnson? I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I went back and I just looked at some I looked at some highlights. I looked at some of his stats during games. I just looked back at just about everything, and he really worries me. Now, first and foremost, I've always said this, and I stuck by this, and I think most people agree now. I mean, I was right when I said it. But Keldon Johnson is a role player, and I think a lot of people were expecting him to be on the level of like DeJounte Murray. And the thing is, DeJounte Murray, while he's not a superstar, and I've been adamant on that, he's a step ahead of Keldon as far as like a baller, right? Like I think most people would agree with that, I would assume. So Keldon Johnson's a role player, and you're putting him in that same position where he has to be kind of the main guy. And some people have brought this up because they got upset with me because I had a take in which I said Devin Vassell is the best player on the team, and then I would say Jeremy Sohan. And I know that sounds crazy because like, oh, he's a rookie, how can you? But yeah, just talent-wise, just what I'm seeing, yeah, he's a better overall player, I think, than Keldon Johnson. Now, while his shooting isn't the best, his playmaking ability with his size, with the way that he controls the ball, his lack of turnovers for majority of the season, I mean, he's pretty impressive. I mean, his huge leap as far as his shooting, free throw percentage and all that good stuff. Like overall, I just think that he's a better overall player. Defender, I mean, he's definitely a better defender than Keldon Johnson. He can defend 1 through 5. At the end of the games, Pop didn't have Keldon Johnson or guarding the best player. He had Jeremy Sohan guarding the best player. So I'm just saying, I think overall, Jeremy Sohan is a better player than Keldon, but I wouldn't say that Jeremy Sohan is a better player than Devin Vassell. Now, with that being said, this is the one thing that kind of worries me. So I said just like a second ago that shooting wise, yeah, Jeremy Sohan isn't the best at shooting, but that goes for the same with Keldon. I mean, Keldon's shooting has not been good. I mean, it has not been good. Mikasa, what's going on with you, girl? You okay? Do you want to sit over here? What's wrong? Good God. But it's shooting. So if we look at his shooting, it's I'm so distracted right now. She's playing with the no, don't eat that. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, you gotta get off. You gotta get off. You gotta get off. Oh, you gotta get off. There you go. You gotta get off, okay? Now go. No, don't play with my hand. Okay. All right. I have no idea what's going on with you right now. She's playing with me again. Oh my gosh. She's biting my hand. Ow. Okay, go. Okay. Whew. Anyways, shooting wise, not the best. Like 3-point percentage. At one point, he was a really good 3-point shooter, but I don't think people have really noticed this. So at the beginning of the season, 43%. We were like, oh my goodness, great catch and shoot. 31%. not terrible. 33, not terrible. 30, not terrible. But then in the last few months, dude, it was like, what the heck? 15% or 16% 3-point percentage. Now the month after that, it wasn't terrible at 44%. That's actually really good. But it's just the inconsistency there. It's like, what the heck was going on here? And it happened throughout the season. It's very strange. And overall, I'm just being honest when I say, like, he worries me when it comes to like his future with the Spurs. Now, we already know that he did a team-friendly deal, not only so he can get, you know, paid, but a diminishing contract is absolutely ridiculous in today's NBA. And then on top of it, we already know that the San Antonio Spurs were probably thinking in the long run, like, if it doesn't pan out, you know, we can move you. And Keldon bet on himself. But me personally, I always thought that he was a really good role player. But this season, the eye test at least tells me, I mean, statistic wise too, but eye test tells me defense was not necessarily there. I thought it would get a little bit better, but his literal or his lateral quickness is not good. I mean, he can still attack the rim fairly well, but he'll have games where he'll put it up about 20 something times and only make 10. Like it's pretty rough. It's pretty rough to see. So I don't know. I just wanted to bring that up, just tell you guys and be honest and saying, like, I'm a little nervous when it comes to Keldon. I truly am. So I don't know. Man viciously attacked by angry cat, not clickbait. Yeah. You guys see this? He officially declared for the NBA draft. No. Oh, you want a defense? Maybe we should kept Murray. Yeah, that doesn't defeat. That didn't help. What are you talking about? No. Keldon Johnson it's just that Keldon Johnson isn't a good defender. It's not me saying, oh, we need way more defense. I mean, we'll eventually get, you know, defenders, and we'll have a good team, a solid team. That's not the problem. My problem right now is just like, will Keldon Johnson be able to hold up, you know, for future tense? Like, for instance, if we were to get Cam Whitmore, like, I don't see that much of a use for Keldon at that point. You know what I mean? That's my problem. Is like, I just don't know. I think he's a fine role player, but it's just strange. I don't know. His inconsistencies are showing quite a bit. But no, it's not me saying the Spurs need more defense. Like, obviously we need a lot of things, but no, we shouldn't have kept Murray. We shouldn't have kept any of those. No. And you guys know how big of a fan I am of Derek White, but no, it was much better deal to not do that. Pop already set the tone. He said defense will be played and be the focus on next season. Yeah. He's a third option at best. Yeah, that's how I feel. Honestly, I don't even know if I would go as far as say third option. I know that's going to be mean, but I don't even know if I go that far. Well, you said at best, so yeah. I guess I can go that far. Sure. Defense wins chips. Defense is important for sure. Winry reminds me of the players I used to build on NBA 2K. Ain't it? It's like ridiculous, dude. You can't even make this build on 2K nowadays. 2K sucks now, by the way. Good God, they just take things away and make things too different. God, I hate 2K. I play it, but I hate it. I'll actually have a team next season though. By the way, guys, I'm gonna need probably like 2 people on PS5, I think. So I might have tryouts. Not this 2K, but I'll announce it on Instagram when I'm like, hey, I need a couple players who can run. Yeah, I'll need 2 players. Pretty positive I'll need 2. I think that there should be limits on 2K on like what you can build, but not to the degree that they have it, dude. It's to the point where like my player, I have like an 83. I can't shoot a 3. I can't hit a 3. I don't have enough badges. It's like you need 50 badges just to hit an open 3. Like, and it's like full bar, wide open, gold claymore. Nope, doesn't matter. Nope. Because the player I always create like a pass first point guard. That's kind of overall, like, can do a little bit of everything. But I'm not focused on, oh, can I shoot like Steph? Like, I just need to be able to shoot an open shot. Or maybe a late closeout shot. That's it. And mid-range. Like, I'm really good at getting, you know, mid-range shots off. But geez, man, this 2K is just terrible. It's terrible. It feels impossible unless you're made to shoot threes. It feels impossible as a guard to hit threes. And it just kind of makes my player almost useless. Like, yeah, I can pass really well, I can dribble really well, but it's like you get to the rim, you can't hit an open dunk, you can't hit an open layup, even though it's 80. It's like 80 is not enough because you don't have 50 badges. It's just too much. It's stupid. Best 2K16. Yeah, 2K16 was dope. 2K19, I think, was the last good 2K. 2K19 was the last good 2K. We will make playoffs next year with Wemby and Scoot. I don't think so. These are these are franchise altering talent, okay? It's not me saying that they're not good. They're franchise altering talent, but they're also rookies. And I think people kind of forget that. Cavaliers didn't make the playoffs LeBron's first year, right? I don't think they did. Luka didn't. KD didn't. So like I wouldn't expect Wemby or Scoot to do it either. '19 was the best. How do we agree? Dude, it was so good, wasn't it? God, it was so good. When they get their stickman back. Yeah. Holmgren. Chet Holmgren. A return from what merch site claim? Huh? Clan the Merch Fan? I'm confused. Go to clanthemerchfan.com. Clanthemerchfan.com. Link in the description. We all sound like Agent. Who are we talking about? Agent 00? Duncan did, Robinson did, Barkley did, Burt. Wait, yeah, Duncan. Well, no, okay. First off, Duncan is a special case. Okay, Duncan was coming to a team that was already established. They have vets on the team. I mean, what players go to a team that's like completely like young and still learning? And I don't know. I just don't know if the West is hard. Okay. I mean, at one point, a big majority of the season, people were wondering if the Lakers would even make it in. Like, it's hard. It's not easy. Hey, I got another hot take. Oh, Clan, he wants to know about who? Let me see. Is it Kirk? Oh, okay. Let me see. You can email me. I can't do returns, my guy, but just email me and I can try to send you a new one. Just email me and tell me what's going on. I think I put my email at the top, didn't I? No, I didn't. Yeah. All you do, you just go to the site, hit contact, and then send me a message like that. We can figure it out. Because that's the only thing is I can't resell it. So yeah, just message me. I hope they keep Devontae Graham. Jafari's right. Add Primo. And that's 27 to 30 wins. Easy. Yeah, I agree. 27 to 30 wins just means playing though, which is where we were last few years. Yeah, I just, and that's the thing too. Like, yeah, you get into the play-in, but you know, years prior, there was no play-in. The point is, we're not really a bottom 3 team. Yeah. I mean, that in-season tourney BS comes next year, so that's gonna be strange. All right, I'm getting off. I basically hit everything that I was going to talk about anyway. But yeah, everybody doing okay? Before I go, any last thing you want to bring up? With Pop, potential upset since he's a good coach. They got all the cap space and nothing good to sign. Oh yeah, there's no free agents this season. What do you think about Spurs drafting Zach? You always ask me this. Wasn't he in last year's draft? Or am I crazy? I'm looking this up. Did I do a video on him already? I did. Yeah, I did a video on him last year. So was he just not drafted this year, or he didn't enter this year? Is that what happened? Yeah. Huh. Interesting. I mean, I guess you can just go back to that video, honestly. Jaden Ivey? Yeah, you know I did one on Jaden Ivey, man. You just messing with me now. But yeah, I did a video on this dude last season. Alright, I'm getting off. Love you guys, but I'm getting off. I give it to you guys later. Yeah. See ya.